Hello, everybody, and it's me again, banging on about wisdom as usual. So, what I wanted to talk about this time was that metaphor for wisdom, the expression, the pearl of great price. Now, I'm sure many of you will already be familiar with that expression, the pearl of great price. And for those of you who are not familiar with it, it originates from the Bible describing wisdom as the pearl of great price. The story is that a merchant gave, when asked of all the things that he could have, power, knowledge, wisdom, he chose wisdom and sold everything he had to purchase wisdom. It is a story, but the moral of the story is about the value of wisdom. So the metaphor itself is rooted in spiritual and philosophical traditions. The point is that it conveys the idea that wisdom is not merely a collection of knowledge or experiences. A lot of people talk about wisdom as if it means being very knowledgeable, and actually it's quite a different kettle of fish altogether. It's a transformative understanding that guides one's life. So actually, you could be very, very knowledgeable, but not have an ounce of wisdom. And you could be very knowledgeable and very foolish. So it has been widely written about. I've been doing a little series of videos, as you know, leading up to an event called Wisdom Worth Sharing, and I'm just saying little bites about wisdom, just to get us all thinking about it. So it's been written about widely and discussed by philosophers, the old-time philosophers, mystics, and contemporary philosophers as well. And it's said to represent a spiritual truth, but the pearl represents rarity, something that's rare, and it's the result of a process. Now, if you think of the process of that forms a pearl, it starts off from the oyster with some grit in it, some kind of irritant, and the oyster produces what's known as layers of nacre. Um, I don't know the ins and outs of the type of stuff that the oyster produces, but it wraps the irritant, the grain of sand, the thing that's irritating it, it wraps it up in layers and layers and layers that build up around it, and gradually the pearl is formed, which is of course very, very smooth. And that process can take several months or it can take several years, depending on the environmental conditions. So the resulting pearl is valued for its luster, its smoothness, and its perfect spherical shape. So many of you will relate to this. I mean, I can look at the biggest irritants in my life and the tolerating it and the dealing with it, the coping with it, all the layers of myself that I had to bring to bear to deal with it. I would say, yes, was probably my greatest teacher. So throughout history, lots of mystics and philosophers have referred to wisdom as a treasure beyond material wealth. You can't buy it. It's something that shapes our soul and leads to ultimate fulfillment. And we know, like, for example, modern teacher and coach like Tony Robbins will say, success without fulfillment is not success. So it's not it's something else. It's something that we develop and acquire. Um, so, like Thomas Aquinas, he was a Middle Ages Dominican, and he wrote extensively about wisdom. And he believed that wisdom involves not just intellectual understanding. It definitely is not about intellectual understanding, but about the right ordering of life in accordance with a power greater than yourself, or divine law, whatever name you choose to give it. Um, and he saw wisdom as a kind of a guiding principle, which you could say was a synthesis of faith and reason that allowed one to live in harmony with um, a higher power, source, spirit, whatever. So one of the other mystics, Teresa of Avila, spoke of wisdom as well as a transformative force. So think about how these people over the ages have been describing wisdom. It's not knowledge. It's not just experience. Her writings about the interior castle, which Carolyn Miss more recently has written about, describes the soul journey as passing through various mansions, and these mansions represent deeper levels of spiritual awareness and wisdom. So for her, yes, it wasn't just intellectual, but a deep level of spiritual awareness. And uh, she set up a lot of contemplative orders. It was about contemplation. Wisdom is gained through contemplation. Contemplation is a bit different. It's similar to meditation, but it's different to meditation. Um, but she likened the soul to a precious pearl as well. So she also used the metaphor of the pearl hidden within the soul. Bringing it up to modern day times, Ken Wilber, one of the contemporary philosophers of our time and founder of integral theory, he talks about different dimensions of human experience, and according to him, wisdom involves the ability to navigate and integrate our different dimensions: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, seeing the multidimensionality of ourselves and being able to navigate them, and well, be aware of them, see the difference in them and navigate them and integrate them in the course of our lives, and to recognize that it's about achieving a balance between the personal and the transpersonal. And one of the big things that I'm keen to share is the transpersonal aspect of things. Um, Wilbur argues that wisdom is not just about understanding spiritual truths, but also about applying them in everyday life and bridging the gap between the ordinary and the mundane, and the transcendent, the mystical, the mysterious. And I just love Ken Wilber. I don't understand everything he says. A lot of what he says goes over my head. But although I don't always understand it cognitively, at a heart and a gut level, I absolutely take it in. And I think there is something about wisdom that's not necessary, and this is where I make a very clear distinction, that it's not about knowledge. It's not a cognitive thing about how you think about it. It's a heart and soul thing. So Wilbur emphasizes the developmental stages, and so that's our personal and transpersonal development, stages in pursuit of wisdom. And he suggests that individuals progress through different levels of consciousness as we grow. And in this view, then, it's the culmination of a developmental journey that transcends the ego and attains a state of unity with the cosmos, ourselves, within ourselves, each other, and source and the cosmos. So it does call for a deeper connection with your inner self, and and it does call for a recognition of the interconnectedness of all of life. So that's my little piece about wisdom for today. If you are interested in our event, Wisdom Worth Sharing, on the 28th of September, and you would like some more information, please pop your name on the waiting list. You'll find the link below this video, and I'd love to, love to connect with you. So bye for now.